Hello, silver tubers and horological tubers. It's Mr. Zeke coming to you from the watch repair bench. I have a special video this evening I wanted to share with you. I've had a few packages on my bench. What you're looking at right now is a stand for watches that a friend of mine made for me out of solid walnut. I'm kind of digging it. I like the brass. The play between the brass and the wood, it's very warm. I'm sorry, copper. That's copper tubing. And it allows all of the watches, not all of the watches, but it allows me to display some of my watches as I'm working. And so the point of this video this evening are these two packages right here. And so I have, sorry about the camera. I'm trying to make sure that I get everything in the frame. And so I've had these two packages on my bench now for a while, and I wanted to do an unboxing, and I wanted to dispel one of the things that I hear from people a lot who don't have a there's a little bit of silver for the silver tubers. It's one of the John Wick silver rounds. I love it. I keep it out on my bench. But I can't afford a mechanical watch. They're too expensive. That's one of the things that I hear from a lot of friends that don't have mechanical watches. And so I wanted to do this video to sort of dispel that common myth. I'm going to do a wristwatch check because that's customary for watch videos. Today has been a Seiko 5 day, and I'm wearing the Seiko 5 that has the dial itself. You can see in the light, the dial itself is patterned, and it's lots of those little Seiko 5 logos, which brings me to the point of the video. One of the things is the public perception is mechanical watches, two things. One, are too expensive to own. I can't afford one. And two, they're not accurate enough for me. They lose time or they gain time. And so I wanted to address those two things. First, I want to talk about the accuracy issue. This particular watch was about $100 and maybe just a little bit less. I got it on Amazon, and it gains or loses 10 to 15 seconds a day, which brings up the conversation: how accurate does our watch have to be for our everyday life? Does anyone out there actually live life down to the second, or do we really just look at our watches to get a general idea of what time it might be? And so the Seiko 5 line is a fantastic line of watches. If you have never owned a mechanical watch, they're a fantastic first watch. They're smaller. They're 38 millimeters. They make them now. They've expanded the line from 38 millimeters all the way up to 42 millimeters. So too small is not a reason anymore. You can get a bigger mechanical watch in this line. And the neat part about the Seiko 5 line is they all have display backs. So you can always take it off and see the inner workings of the wristwatch and how it works. And so right down to the little beating heart, the escape wheel, ticking back and forth and back and forth. And so the question is, do I really need a watch that keeps plus or minus 3 seconds a day? The answer is, if we're all honest with ourselves, no. That's unnecessary. It's one of those bragging points. And so I wanted to do a video on a recent acquisition, here and here. This was purchased on Amazon, and as was the strap. There's a watch strap in here. This was purchased from Shop TikTok. They're the seller, and I picked this up because I wanted to try an experiment, and they gave me a really good deal on it. I'd like to give a shout out to Shop TikTok. They were very friendly when I explained to them what I wanted to do. This particular automatic watch was less than $100. And so let's have a look at what under $100 will get you. A nice box, a nice inner box, an instruction manual. One of the things I like about the Seiko 5 line is that when they came up with the genesis for the Seiko 5 line, it had to have 5 key attributes. It had to be water resistant, had to tell reasonably accurate time, had to have the day-date display, and I use that quite a bit, especially in these times where many people are homebound. I lose track of the day. And in the Seiko 5 line, I can just glance at my wrist and it'll tell me, hey, it's Wednesday the 5th. And so an instruction manual that will tell you everything you need to know in several languages about the watch. So let's see what under $100 got me. And so I got to tell you, it's been very difficult to have this on the bench and not open it because I'm super excited about this particular wristwatch. And so here we have it. Good packaging. Got all kinds of tags on this thing. I guess can't return it if that tag's been removed, which we're not returning it. You got plastic on the. Seiko does a very good job at, for under $100, this is a heck of a lot of wristwatch. And so the number one complaint with the Seiko 5 lines, I picked this one out particularly because it has the numerals all the way around, and they're not painted on, they're actually applied. Let's see if we can get a good shot. I'm going to zoom in to the dial if I can. Might not let me. There we go. And get it in focus. You can see the silver border around the numerals, so it's got a very nice look to it. It has a flat Hardlex crystal, which is Seiko's proprietary mineral glass. Has some nice polished surfaces, has some brush surfaces. You can dress it up, dress it down. It is a mechanical, automatic. And the nice part about the Seiko 5s is you don't have to wind them. If you haven't worn them, you just take it, shake it for about a minute. I think it tells you in the instructions to just shake it for a minute. And what you're doing is you're working that oscillating weight, or in layman's terms, rotor in the back, and she's purring away. And they're really neat because, they made them very simple to operate. Like the day and the date is obviously not right. So I'm going to pull the crown out to the first position. One direction is I'm turning it clockwise, and it's going to adjust the date, which today is the 5th. So I'm going to turn it to the 4th because I want it to roll over naturally. And today's Wednesday, so I'm going to turn the crown, which is this part right here, counterclockwise. And it's changing the date, and this one comes in 2 different languages, and today's Wednesday, so I'm going to leave it on Tuesday. Now I'm going to pull the crown all the way out, and I'm going to let the time actually roll the date and the day over to the appropriate date for this video, because I've been so excited. I can't wait to get this on my wrist. And you see the date changed over at midnight. The day changes over at 3 o'clock in the morning. So this is Wednesday the 5th in the AM. And at the time of this recording, we're in the PM. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to roll it around till I get to the accurate time. And it is currently 8:12. Well, almost 8:13. So I'm going to go ahead and set it for 8:13. So 10, 11, 12, 13. And then I'm going to push the crown in, and I'm done. And so let's get this wrapper off. Now, I am admittedly not a fan of bracelets, steel bracelets on watches, because they tend to, I find them to be very uncomfortable. My size wrist and the shape of my wrist, I don't like them. So we're going to take that off. that bracelet off, which is going to bring us to the second portion of the video, and that is the strap that I always put a strap on my wristwatches. I do keep the bracelet in case I ever decided to sell the watch, and most watch purchasers will want to have the original bracelet. But Seiko bracelet, especially in the 5 line, you have to understand what you're mostly paying for is the head of the watch, the movement, the case, the dial, not the bracelet. And these bracelets they leave a lot to be desired, but that's no big deal because I buy it knowing that going into it. And so I'm going to go ahead and remove the bracelet and just get down to the head of the watch, because that's what I purchased this for. And so it's got a few little pins here, and I'm doing this sort of blind because I can't see. I'm videoing, and I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. I know today where I'm at, it was raining off and on throughout the day, and so I didn't get a lot done outside, but I got to play. I'm actually finishing the TV show Blacklist, and so I'm a huge fan of James Spader, his roles that he plays. I don't know much about him as a person, but I'm a huge fan of his Boston legal character Alan Shore and his portrayal of criminal mastermind Raymond Reddington. And so now we have gotten the bracelet off and out of the way. Now we have the head of the watch, which is what I wanted to begin with. And so let's have a look at what Shop TikTok sent me. We'll go ahead and use the trusty mini hunter from Pendleton. It's actually a cold steel knife. I like it because it's a fixed blade that can fit in your pocket. And so I had this, I've seen these before, but I have never tried to put one on a wristwatch. This is a silicone strap, which I have plenty of silicone straps, but one of the challenges with replacing a watch bracelet that fits snugly to the case with a strap is you always end up with a gap. And they now make a strap with a curved end. And the point of the curved end is so that the watch strap, nice packaging, very nice packaging, came with spring bars. That's nice too. There should be another one in here. It may be stuck in the, oh yep, it's stuck in the packaging. One of the nice parts is when they come with spring bars, there we go. And so the spring bars, just so you know, these are spring bars right here, and they're what actually holds they're spring loaded, and they're what holds the strap on the watch. And so, good, thick, quality, nice texture on the back. That'll keep it from slipping and sliding around. But you notice on the end, it's curved. And so the idea is, when this is properly installed, it should mate up with the head of the watch so that you don't have much of a gap. Now, it looks like this one's a bit narrow. I may have ordered the wrong. It may, believe it or not, I mean, they come in millimeter, 18 millimeter, 19 millimeter. I may have ordered an 18 millimeter and needed a 19 millimeter. I don't know. So let's give this a shot real quick and install it, and we'll see how it looks. I don't know how it's going to look yet. I've never done one of these straps on a Seiko 5. I've only ever had one watch that had a fitted strap, and that was years ago, and that was a Tissot, or Tissot as they call it at their service center. But sorry about that. I have an incoming call, but I am busy right now, so I will call them back. I just want to get this in place and see if it actually fits. This is a complete experiment for me. I don't even know if this strap is going to fit this case, but we are certainly going to try. I'm just trying to locate the pinhole whilst I'm looking through the camera. It's proving to be a bit of a challenge. Hang on, I'm gonna pause the video. I'll be right back.